Kathy Hilton and Garcelle Beauvais' off-screen friendship is still very much intact. On Friday, August 22, the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills ladies came together for a special luncheon at the iconic Hollywood hotel Chateau Marmont. Kathy and Garcelle had stepped out to support a new initiative from Covet by Christos, a luxury platform launched by Dukes of Melrose's Christos Garcinos. Kathy Hilton and Garcelle Beauvais connect in Hollywood. Sharing laughs and lunch with my favorites, Kathy captioned an August 22 carousel featuring photos of her, Garcelle, and Christos. "So happy we got to catch up," Garcelle added in the comments. Garcelle also took to Instagram to show off her colorful luncheon outfit and to give a closer look at the intimate event. She uploaded photos of herself posing alongside the host and Kathy, as well as the Real Housewives of Miami's Alexia Nipola and Marisol Patton. "Ladies who lunch supporting, Covet by Christos," she wrote in the post. "Always love to see you and connect," Alexia commented. "Keep on shining." "I love a boozy girls gathering," Marisol added. Garcelle Beauvais announces RHOBH exit after season 14. The Kathy Garcelle reunion occurred about 5 months after the latter's RHOBH exit. Garcelle, who had joined the cast in season 10, 2020, announced the decision in an online video, the same day as the RHOBH season 14 final. "I have some news. I've decided to leave Beverly Hills," she told viewers. "It's been a wild ride. I mean, some amazing things have happened, and some hard things have also happened, but it's been a ride nevertheless." Shortly after her exit, Garcelle unfollowed most of her season 14 castmates on Instagram, including her longtime bestie Sutton Strack. In fact, Kathy and Housewives friend Jennifer Tilly were the only Beverly Hills ladies who didn't receive the chop. Garcelle expressed her frustration with the cast during part 3 of the season 14 reunion, which ended with her abruptly leaving the set and refusing to take the customary group photo. "I'm out," Garcelle said following several tense exchanges with her fellow wives. "Everybody jumped at me, and I felt like I was on an island by myself. I can't be friends with people like that. I can't trust them. I don't trust them, and they obviously don't like me. I'm done. It's been an amazing ride. I'm so grateful for the opportunity, but I'm done." How did Kathy Hilton react to Garcelle Beauvais' RHOBH departure? Kathy addressed Garcelle's exit in a May interview with 2FAB, saying she and everyone else were completely shocked by the decision. "I love and adore her. I called her, obviously, right when I walked off the set from the reunion and talked to her," the RHOBH friend said. "We ended up having dinner with a friend like 2 days later, and I tried to not bring up too much because I just want her to know that she's very loved and will be missed." The California sun, a soft, golden haze, filtered through the fronds of a palm tree, dappling the marble terrace of the Chateau Marmont. It wasn't the harsh, brilliant light of a summer afternoon, but a gentle, almost conspiratorial glow, as if the very air knew something special was happening. For Garcelle Beauvais, this quiet luncheon was a sanctuary. The clink of silverware, the murmur of distant conversation, and the soft rustle of leaves were a welcome contrast to the cacophony she had recently left behind. She watched as Kathy Hilton laughed, her head thrown back, a genuine, uninhibited sound that seemed to chase away any remaining shadows. In this moment, there were no cameras, no microphones, no producers whispering cues. There was just a laugh, a shared moment, and the simple comfort of being with a friend. It had been a wild ride, as she had told the world in her online video. The journey through Beverly Hills had been an extraordinary, and at times, brutal whirlwind of designer clothes, gilded parties, and unspoken alliances. She had entered with an open heart, ready to connect, to be real. And she had found some incredible things, moments of genuine laughter and camaraderie, but also an island of isolation. The feeling of being on that island was still vivid in her memory, a low-grade hum of anxiety that sometimes resurfaced. She remembered the season finale, the reunion, the sharp words, and the sudden chill in the air. The feeling of being cornered, of every word she spoke being twisted into an accusation. It was a pressure cooker, and at a certain point, the lid had to come off. She had walked away from the set, the group photo, and the promise of another season, feeling a profound sense of relief and a deep, gnawing disappointment. She had tried to connect, to find a tribe, and it had felt like a failure. The aftermath was just as telling. The unfollow button, a simple digital action, had felt like a final, necessary severing. It was a way of saying, I can't be friends with people like that. I can't trust them. But there were two exceptions, two lights that had remained on in the digital darkness. Jennifer Tilly, a beacon of quirky, unwavering friendship, and Kathy. Kathy had been there, a solid, calming presence in the chaos. Garcelle remembered the immediate call after the reunion. She had been in a cab, the city lights blurring outside the window, her phone buzzing. It was Kathy. Her voice had been soft, full of concern, and completely free of judgment. Are you okay? I was shocked. We all were. Those words had meant everything. They had not been a plea for her to stay, or a critique of her actions. They had been a simple human gesture of care. 2 days later, they had met for dinner. It was a quiet meal away from the flash and fury. Kathy hadn't pushed her for details or tried to get her to spill tea. Instead, she had simply listened, offering comfort and a reminder that her worth was not defined by a reality show. I just want her to know that she's very loved and will be missed, Kathy had told the press, a sentiment she had expressed to Garcelle in 100 subtle ways. Their bond was unscripted, unfiltered, and deeply felt. It was a sanctuary from the storm. Now, at this elegant luncheon, the storm felt a world away. The conversation flowed easily. They talked about Covet by Christos, the luxury platform's new initiative, a topic that was both exciting and blessedly free of personal drama. They laughed about shared memories, not about staged moments for the camera, but about genuine lived experiences. Garcelle found herself smiling, a real smile that reached her eyes. She wasn't performing, she was simply being. As Alexia Napola and Marisol Patton joined their table, the energy shifted slightly, but the core of the gathering remained intact. It was a boozy girls' gathering, as Marisol so perfectly put it, a celebration of connection and support. They were a collective of women who understood the complexities of the public eye, the challenges of putting your life on display, but who, at the end of the day, valued authentic relationships above all else. Alexia's comment, always love to see you and connect. Keep on shining, was more than just a kind word. It was a validation of Garcelle's decision to walk away from what was draining her and towards what nourished her. This wasn't just lunch, it was a reunion of souls. It was Garcelle seeing her choice reflected back at her, not as a loss, but as a victory. She had traded the gilded cage of reality TV for the genuine embrace of real friendships. She had found a tribe that wasn't defined by a cast list or a tagline, but by shared laughter, mutual respect, and unconditional support. The afternoon wore on, the golden light turning to amber. Garcelle felt a profound sense of peace. The wild ride had led her here, to this tranquil corner of Hollywood, with people who saw her, heard her, and cherished her for exactly who she was. The unfollows were just a consequence of her journey, a way of shedding what no longer served her. The connections that remained, however, were her true reward. In the end, it wasn't about being the last one standing in a group photo. It was about finding the one or two people who would stand by you no matter what, with or without the cameras rolling. And in Kathy, she had found exactly that. Their golden afternoon at the Chateau Marmont was proof that some stories are best told not through a lens, but through a laugh, a comforting hand on the arm, and the quiet, unwavering presence of a friend. Weeks later, weeks turned into months, and the golden glow of that afternoon never truly faded. The Chateau Marmont luncheon became a touchstone, a moment she would recall when the old hum of anxiety threatened to return. Her life now, without the relentless production schedule, felt slower, more intentional. She spent more time with her children, pursued new projects, and, most importantly, nurtured the friendships that had proven to be real. Her phone buzzed with a text from Kathy, a picture of a ridiculous fluffy dog, with the caption, "Reminded me of your sense of humor." Lol, it was a small thing, an unscripted moment that meant everything. Their conversations were a mix of gossip, genuine advice, and shared laughter, free of the performance required for a public audience. They had dinner a few more times, sometimes with Jennifer Tilly, and the feeling was always the same, a deep, uncomplicated affection. The season she had left behind aired, and she watched from a distance, feeling a mix of nostalgia and relief. The drama still unfolded, the alliances shifted, and the tense moments were replayed on a loop for a different audience. But she was no longer in the center of it. She was the star of her own show now, one with a smaller, more intimate cast and a much happier script. Her choice to walk away was a leap of faith, a rejection of a glittering path in favor of a more authentic one.